just wanted to meet with you today. If you had some time, I originally bought a car from you, and you had some opinions on it, and I did as well. But would you want to take some time and talk about this today?
Oh, totally. I'd love to talk about it, Zane.
Awesome. So, I've been wanting to know how you were feeling about this issue. So, you told me that the car you didn't originally want to sell it to me, but then you did sell it to me, and I was just curious as to why you did sell the car to me.
Well, the reason why I didn't want to sell it to you in the first place is because you are my friend, and I've had a lot of problems with the car, and it's been troubles ever since I bought it, and then kind of you buying it, I was kind of afraid that it might start breaking down on you, and even if this was a really reliable car, I almost didn't feel comfortable selling you a car in general, just because I didn't want to feel like I sold you a junky car. So then whenever it did break down, I just felt like I shouldn't have to pay for that, because you knew that I needed the money for the car for my rent, and since the money's gone for the rent, I already paid my rent. I really couldn't give it back to you at the time. I couldn't give you your money back. But I just kind of hated selling it to you anyways, just because we're such good friends,
Yeah.
I didn't want it to break down on you.
Okay, yeah. So I get that. You had to pay for your rent and stuff, and so is there other feelings that you're feeling right now, like about the car situation? Because I really would love to hear how you're feeling about this, because we are such good friends, and I don't want that friendship to suffer. So how are you feeling about the car?
Well, I feel really aggravated when you wanted me to pay you back for that car, because once you bought that car, I felt like it was your car then. If anything went wrong with it, you needed to be the one to fix it. You can't just, because it was either two weeks to 2 months later the car broke down, which is it's a little bit of time for just buying a car, which I hated that. I hated that it broke down on you. But I just felt super aggravated that you wanted me to give you that money back.
Okay.
Whenever it was your car then.
So you felt aggravated because once I bought it, I asked for the money back, even though I kind of knew that there was problems with it, because you did tell me.
Yeah, just really aggravated.
Okay. Is there other things that you're feeling?
Maybe just a little bit confused too. Of like, I thought you knew that getting into it. Of like, it was not the best car. That was the whole reason why I was selling it. But I did want to help you out. Like, I knew you needed a car too, just like I needed to pay my rent.
Right.
Yeah, and then just kind of, just aggravated and confused. I just felt aggravated and confused, because this all happened and all so fast, and then you just came to me wanting the money back, instead of even like, trying to get it fixed.
Okay, yeah. I agree. So, I definitely want to continue to hear like how you're feeling, because this is good to hear, your side of it, because it is clarifying things for me. Is there other things you are feeling about the car that you do want to talk about?
Well, mainly just, I feel hurt too that, that almost you just was like, give me back that is the money that I paid for that car. Like, I thought maybe us being friends too, you might have saw it as like, well, he probably don't have that money. Well, she probably doesn't have that money because she already spent it on her rent. But, yeah, and I hate that for you too. Like, I really hate that happened. But I guess I was just so desperate for the money for my rent at the time, because I was already so late. I was already like 3 weeks late on the rent, and I needed to hurry up and get it paid. And so I felt bad on that too. I felt bad for doing it, because I feel like it really is affecting our friendship.
Okay, yeah, for sure. And so we are really good friends, and as a friend, I definitely see that. And how did it make you feel? When I did ask for that money back, and and I was kind of rude, and I really am just curious, how did that make you feel?
Just really mad. I was pretty mad, because I saw it. It's almost like you bought it, and because it went down on you, like, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of your responsibility.
Right.
But in the same take, I shouldn't have sold you that car because I knew it was bad. You know, I knew it broke down on me a whole lot. But yeah, that's about how I'm feeling. Pretty, you know, mad and confused and guilty. You know, I feel guilty about it too because I hate that your car broke down on you. You needed a car, and now you don't got one, and you're at $400.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. You know, I do want to ask again, is there anything else you're feeling about this situation? Because I do just want to know, you know, everything that you are feeling so we can get it out on the table and discuss it and, you know, become better friends because of it, so.
Yeah, totally. You know, mad, confused, guilty. Almost a little bit betrayed too, but I guess that comes with the mad part. You know, I just felt a little bit betrayed because you knew, you know, that $400 would be hard for me to get back to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't like, you know, hey Dorothy, can you take a couple, you know, do a couple payments to pay me back for this car? You know, like give me $50 whenever you can. It was like, hey, I need the full money back because the motor went out.
Right, yeah. You know, I get that, and I mean, I do apologize for my emotional responses to the situation, but I mean, definitely after hearing where you're coming from, I definitely, you know, want to talk about, you know, my feelings for
Yeah,
sure.
what? How are you feeling? Like, I want to know how you feel.
Okay, so, you know, I came to you to buy the car because I needed a car. I just got a job, and I knew you had a lot of cars and you were into cars. And when I came to you, you originally told me you didn't want to sell the car, so that was, it was kind of off-putting. And then, you know, your dad was like, finally getting rid of my headaches when you finally, you know, decided to sell me the car for $1,500, which was a great price. You know, I was like, this is great. I originally was going to spend, you know, $3,000 of money that I really didn't have, and the $1,500 was in the budget. So I was like, you know, Dorothy's giving me a good deal. You know, awesome, everything's good. So I start driving it for a week, and you know, the exhaust just comes into the car and it gives me a headache. And the first thing I thought of was, wow, Dorothy's dad said my headaches are gone. So I'm like, so it made me think, Dorothy sold me this car knowing that this is going to happen to me. And I felt betrayed as a friend, you know?
Okay, so you said that it was. So what did it make it? Did it make you mad that your headaches came back, or just the fact that the exhaust system, like?
You know, a headache was a byproduct of the exhaust, you know. So it just made me upset that you would sell me a car that did that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
Yeah.
accusing you that you know you did anything with the car. I'm just saying, you know, like that you did know that those problems were there, and it does hurt my feelings that you know you sold me the car.
Yeah, well, like, so you said you felt betrayed. You felt
Yeah.
betrayed. Just betrayed in the sense of like you thought that I did that on purpose a little
Yeah.
bit initially,
Yeah.
but then you started thinking like, hey, she might not have really meant to do that.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't, you know. I
Yeah.
hate that happened too. And then so your initial was you just felt betrayed.
Yeah.
Then you said you kind of got over that. Well, how are you feeling about it now?
You know, I mean, I was like thinking, you know, like you said, like I don't think she actually knew that, you know, there was a problem there, and so I started to think, you know, maybe since it was so soon, it was 2 weeks, I'll call her and see if she can just, you know, refund me the money. And you originally said yes, and then, you know, 2 hours later you called me back and said no. Actually, I think it was like the next day. The next day you called me and you said no. So that just kind of just confused me, and it made me upset because I was just not sure where you was coming from to originally say yeah and then say no, especially when, you know, the car was out for 2 weeks and, you know, had all these problems. So it just confused me a lot that, you know, that you would refuse the refund as a friend, you know.
So how did that make you feel? Like you said as a friend, how did that make you feel, like our friendship, like what level our friendship was on?
Well, it made me feel like, you know, on both sides that our friendship obviously was not as close as we thought it was if we, you know, couldn't come to agreement about, you know, simple things like, you know, a car.
Yeah, yeah, just on different page. You kind of wish we were on the same page about
Yeah,
that, because I do too, yeah.
I mean, you are one of my better friends, and you know, I don't want to lose this friendship, but I think we are doing the right thing by talking about this stuff, you know. And I mean, I went to the repair shop, and they said it'd be $400 to fix the exhaust. So, I mean, that's not too bad. And I just want to ask you, you know, is there any other problems with the vehicle? Because that right now, that's another thing I'm feeling. I'm feeling worried that
Oh, okay, you feel worried.
that there's something else wrong with the car. And I mean, if there is, we can go ahead and talk about it now. And we, you know, is there anything else to your knowledge that is wrong with it?
No, not, but you know, it's one of those cars, you know, it was one thing after another whenever I had it too, you know. Maybe it's just gonna be one of those things, you know, I really hope that once, you know, we get this figured out, you know, hopefully the car does get fixed. Hopefully that will be the only problem. But you said you feel worried too. So you just feel like worried and betrayed and disrespected and, is there anything else that you felt?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just felt disrespected. But, you know, I mean, like, just base level of friendship, you know. And I'm not saying you did this on purpose. Once again, I'm really not. It just as a product of what happened, and this could be a assumption. I just felt, you know, disrespected, and you know, like as we're talking, I'm beginning to realize that, you know, you didn't know all these problems were happening, and you had your own time crunches and your own, you know, needs, and it just happened that, you know, we both had something that we needed. You know, I needed a car and you needed to pay rent, and it works out that way. And you didn't sell me the car intentionally to, you know, for it to break down 2 weeks later. And originally I did think that, but after talking to you, I don't think that. So I mean, that is a relief to me for sure. You know, and I'm glad we're talking about this stuff because it's making it, you know, more clear. And you know, I don't want to have to lose a friend over a car. You know, especially a good friend that, you know, I've had for years now. So, you know, I was confused at first about why all this happened, you know, like why you would sell me a car if you knew it was broke down, and then you know, you clarify that you didn't know it was broke down. I was like angry that you told me that you could refund me, and then the next day you couldn't, and then you know, you explained the rent situation, and that's a lot more clear to me now. And then, you know, felt like I was disrespected when, you know, when I thought you sold me that car, and it was not in the best condition. But then, you know, you explained to me that you didn't know. So, you know, a lot of my feelings are kind of like already resolved. You know, just out of talking to you, and I wish we didn't, you know, wait this long to talk. You know, so.
But that disrespect aspect, like you said, you felt a little bit disrespected. Like, I know whenever I'm disrespected by my friend, because I don't necessarily feel disrespected by you. You know, I feel a little bit betrayed, but I don't feel disrespected. I do see where, I'm not saying like, you know, you shouldn't feel disrespected. I do see where you're coming from that. Yeah. But like, what do you think moved you forward from being disrespected to now you're at least happy that we're talking?
Yeah, just honestly, just us sitting down and talking about it, you know, it just showed you that, you know, that you wanted to talk. Because originally when I called you, you know, you said, yeah, I'll refund you, then you called me back and said, no, I won't. It just made me feel like, you know, that you didn't even care.
1 minute I was saying, hey, I'll give you the money back, I'll help you, and the next minute I was like, no.
Yeah, it just made me feel like, you know, like, all right, well, she's cutting out this friendship, you know, she got what she needed out of it, and now, you know, nothing in return. But, you know, all that stuff is getting better. You know, I do want to talk about, I feel, you know, a lot better about a lot of things, you know. Yeah, but I don't feel like I should be fully responsible for paying for the fix of the car.
Why? Could you tell me a little bit more about why you think you shouldn't?
Yeah, just because, I mean, I'm not saying that you knew these problems, that the exhaust was going to be a problem. Just saying that you know, you originally told me you didn't want to sell me the car, and it leads me to believe, you know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not accusing you. It just made me feel at a certain time that you knew that there was problems with the car, and you sold it to me knowing that. So that is still what I'm feeling, you know.
And I see that, and I don't really know, like, because I did know there was problems with the car. So I guess, it is kind of like, you didn't necessarily know there was problems currently with the car. You knew that I'd had problems before, but you didn't know currently. And I guess that really was a disadvantage to you of like, and I kind of need to see it in the sense of like, if that happened to me, like, especially, with this rent situation, what if like, it was the opposite of like, I just gave you my money for rent, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't, I, I do think that you should be reimbursed something now, just because I'm sitting here and talking to you.
Yeah.
Is basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, I get
Of
that.
like, I think you do need to be reimbursed. I obviously can't give that to you right now, so we will need to work something out that way. But do you think like there's any problems in our friendship that we need to resolve? Like, I guess maybe I really should have told you that there was probably going to be problems in your near future with the car.
I tell you, as far as our friendship, we're doing better. One thing that will help me is when you do help me with this car situation. And I'm not saying it has to be, soon. I get that you have, your own financial responsibilities. But if we could go ahead and fix the exhaust together, I'll pay $200 and you pay $200, and that could be $200 off of the $1,500, that you would refund me. So you would really, in return, only need to refund me $1,300, and that's, I feel like that's fair on both sides. I'm helping you pay for the exhaust, and then, it'll be able to drive for a few months until you could repay me. So how does that sound to you?
Okay, so like you're meaning like me pay you for the exhaust, like.
It was $400. I went to the
Yeah,
garage, and it was
okay.
$400 to get the exhaust fixed, and 200 of that coming from you, 200 of that coming from me, and then we just come together and fix the car, and then in return that would give me a workable car,
Yeah.
and you time to work and get money to refund me, and and like I would be okay waiting like 3 months, So.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds really good. I think that would be good, and maybe if something happens, like if one of us decides not to pay our part, maybe we could get it just like. Maybe we could write something up or something and sign it or whatever, and have like a witness or something, saying that we both will pay half of that exhaust, Then you know that I'm good for my word, and it's not just like last time where I said, hey Zane, I'm going to pay you this much money, and then I go back and say no.
Okay, so, I agree. Yeah, and we'll definitely sit down and do that here soon. But one thing I do want to ask you: before we walk away, are you feeling any other kind of emotions towards this conflict? Because I don't want it to keep brewing, and
No, I think that's pretty much it. I'm glad that you're gonna have a car, and then if it is only the 200 at first, and then I give you the rest of the money back, that really does work on mine too. You're being really giving and doing that for me, helping me not have to pay the full car back right away. And I'm glad that you're gonna have a car, and I'm just really glad we got to talk over this and figure it out.
Yeah, me too.
What about you? Do you have any?
I told you how I was feeling, and then I really do appreciate you helping me fix the car and then refunding me, because that does mean a lot. And honestly, sitting down and talking to you today has made me, feel very relieved, because I felt like I lost a friend, and not only did I lose a friend, I felt like, they screwed me over in the process of losing a friend. But I never really wanted to think that that's what you done, and I don't think that is what you done. So I do feel relieved, on all aspects, as long as we do hold up our end of the bargain, and you do refund me and you do help me pay with this exhaust, and I think you will.
And I'm going to, but we'll do the writing just because what happened last time.
Yeah.
And
so
we're back on my word.
So I do feel relieved, and I'm happy to sit here today, and if there's no other thing that you need to discuss, or I don't really feel anything else at this moment. Honestly, you should come hang out this week, over at the house. We're having a Super Bowl get together, so you can definitely come over and hang out. So until then, I think I'm gonna go go back to work. You know, it was my lunch break, so I definitely just wanted to.
Well,
to
do you want me
discuss
to get up with the garage then, since you're going back to work?
Yeah, that'd be
Would
awesome.
Would you let me do that, you know, and
Yeah.
I'll get it all worked out and, you know, figure it out and explain the situation to him, and maybe, you know, we get a payment worked out, so it's even less, and then we just half the payments or something.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, thank you for staying with me today. You
All
have a wonderful
right,
day.
all right, thank you, Zane.